If you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, you're the question, you're the answer. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Oh, if you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Oh, if you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, you're the question, you're the answer. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Oh, if you feel like letting go, you can take control. You can turn this all to something beautiful where you feel life gets you down, 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 gets you down, down, down. Say it louder, say it louder. Oh, feel the moment, feel the power. Oh, bring the animal back to life. Oh, bring the energy one more time. Bring the energy one more time.
A very good evening. Welcome to World Cup 2026 live here in LFS as we watch one of the most anticipated matchups of this World Cup as Portugal meets Spain in the round of 16. Two sides with storied histories on the world stage and against each other in what is known as the Iberian Derby. And another chapter to be written this evening. Excuse me. Excuse me, I nearly choked. Apologies about that. That is highly embarrassing. Anyway, moving on. Look at the results already from the round of 16. France progressing against Paraguay. Norway 2-1 winners against Brazil. And 3-2 for 10-man England against co-host Mexico. So already two co-hosts out of the tournament. We'll see the USA take action in the middle of the night. But it is all focus on these two. As I said, Brazil beaten by Norway last night. A real shock. Erling Haaland on the double and a Neymar penalty were the scorers in that one. And England scraping past Mexico, albeit down to 10 men for a lot of that game. Certainly in the second half. Corona is reacting to two Jude Bellingham goals in the space of 2 minutes. 2-1 to England at that stage. It was then 3-1 when Kane converted a penalty before Raul Jimenez also converted from the spot. But the Mexicans could not overcome the English. So that's the way it looks. 4 down, 4 to go when it comes to the knockout stages of the round of 16. And these are the winner chances as it stands. France were the outright winners in terms of chances, 29.7%. England second, Spain and Argentina in third and fourth. And Norway apparently have a better chance at winning the tournament than Portugal, which is fascinating. Looking ahead to this one, both sides unbeaten in the tournament so far. 3 wins in the last 3 for Spain. Haven't conceded a goal yet in the tournament from their respective games. 8 scored, none conceded from their 4 games so far. Portugal needing a really tight late bit of drama against Croatia to progress, but they are here, and the winner of this one will play the USA or Belgium in the quarter-finals. Our referee for this one, Anthony Taylor from England. It's 35 degrees Celsius and a beautiful sunny day in Dallas, Texas. Although that won't really matter because we're inside an air-conditioned stadium. But it is Portugal against Spain at the World Cup, and it is so exciting. Let's have a look at the two teams for this one, starting with Portugal. Diogo Costa starts in goal. Right back, if I can get the details up on my screen, is João Cancelo, not Caicedo. Diaz and Vega are the centre-backs along with Nuno Mendes. João Neves and Vitinha are in midfield with Bruno Fernandes further forward. João Felix and Pedro Neto are the wingers with Cristiano Ronaldo leading the Portuguese line. For Spain, Unai Simon continues in goal, looking to make it 5 straight clean sheets at the World Cup this time round. Pedro Porro, Pau Cubarsí, Aymeric Laporte and Marco Correa make up the defence. Rodri and Pedri are in midfield with Dani Olmo in the 10 and wingers of Alex Baena and Lamine Yamal either side of Mikel Oyarzabal. Both sides with major options off the bench. I mean, they're very storied. You can see them all. Incredible squads. 2 incredible teams. Our VAR, Bastian Dankert from Germany as well. It's Portugal, Spain at the World Cup in Dallas. No better way to spend your Monday evening than watching the Iberian Derby here at this World Cup. Kickoff is next. Swings it across, and that's a wonderful goal from Cristiano Ronaldo. Baying it to the byline, cuts it across, and the header is in by Pedro Porro. Well, very good evening. Welcome to World Cup 2026 live here at LFS. I had an absolute shocker. Coughing my lungs up there a few moments ago, but thank you for joining us this evening as the round of 16 continues. A very exciting match, of course, it goes without saying. I mean, you see when Portugal and Spain collide, there is going to be fireworks, and let's hope for some drama here this evening in Dallas. Two sides with realistic ambitions of going all the way in this one, but they've got to face off against one another before that could be possible. Roberto Martinez really believes in this Portuguese team, that they've got the qualities, they've got the togetherness, but Luis de la Fuente's side are like a well-oiled machine at this stage. They know how to keep the opposition out, and they find a way to make it so easy to find a way past the opponent's defence at the other ends. Two sides with storied histories, storied pasts against one another, and it's just a little task of Cristiano Ronaldo at 41 and Lamine Yamal at 18, both in attack for their opposing countries. And we cannot wait to see the star-studded talents on show here at an absolute blockbuster in Dallas. And it is the European champions who get us underway here in Texas. Portugal against Spain, and a place in the last 8 and the quarter-finals awaiting the winner. Something tells me this one will be a close one. A good firm battle between two nations who have been rivals for well over 105 years. And another chapter in this tasty battle between Portugal and Spain here this evening. Spain under a bit of early pressure. Ruben Dias out to the right hand side. Ball fed towards the runner of Pedro Neto, but not quite finding the target on that occasion, and behind for a goal kick. Well, as I said, Spain's defence has been one of their bright sparks. Obviously their fluid football against Austria, and we'll get to that as the game goes on, but I mean, their defence, 4 games shall I say, without conceding a goal. The only team in the tournament yet to concede. They were one of only them and Mexico who were left standing without conceding. Of course, Mexico ended up losing that record last night, and then in the end losing to England. But you have to say, we talk so much about the stars in this Spanish side. It's about how fluid, how well-oiled, how comfortable they look. The football they play just looks so simple. I said it in the Austria game. They look so easy on the eye, Spain, when they play at their very best. This Portuguese side really haven't played to their best, you would expect, from the talent that they possess. But as we've seen, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And when they've needed it, Portugal, they've come up with the goods. Here's Marco Correa. Pedri. The worry for Portugal will be if they give Spain early control and possession. The fear will be whether they will give you any glimpse of getting it back. That's not the best of touches from Lamine Yamal. Nice crossfield pass, however, but ultimately not the right touch by the young teenage superstar. Long throw by Nuno Mendes. Looking to find Joao Felix, but well cut out by the Spanish midfield. Pedri, oh, heavy touch there. Nice little 1-2 between Neto and Fernandez, but it's stolen away from Joao Neves. And the shot from range is right down the throat of Diogo Costa from Mikel Oyarzabal. See that. Great strike from Mikel Oyarzabal. Comfortable save for Diogo Costa. They're in again here, Spain. It's Lamine Yamal cutting it back across, and Vitinha in the way, scrambling it away from danger, but already Spain starting to pose 1 or 2 major threats right from the off here. Good challenge there by Rodri to just ease his opponent out of the way. Here's Kubarsi. Yamal drifting inside, has to get a hold of the ball. There'll be no doubting these two, pound for pound, have got such great talent and quality in their squads. But on the day, it's about doing the business, getting the job done and finding a way to win. Spain really, more recently than anyone else, know a way how to do that in a winning campaign at a tournament. Portugal themselves, though, navigated their way to a Nations League victory just over a year ago. So both sides know how it feels to lift big silverware on the international stage. As Nuno Mendes there, just overrunning the ball, not the best of first touches. Sees it out for the throw to Spain. Yeah, he kind of took it with the underside of his boot and then it just bounced off his knee. And out for the Spanish throw. Olmo gets the ball off Porro. All the way back here to Kubarsi, under a bit of pressure here from Bruno Fernandes. Not the best of controls again there from Mikel Oyarzabal. It's a little bit sloppy from both teams so far. Just settling into their rhythm. Not quite comfortable on the ball, either team so far. It's got a little bit shaky in those tight areas. But a throw in here for Nuno Mendes. High up the left-hand side here for Portugal. Launches it towards the area. Header won by Ronaldo. Not quite finding the target, though, of the teammates. Spain trying to spring away down the left by Aina. Nice work to find it back inside. Pedri. Now Olmo. Olmo. Swung it round the right-hand side for Porro. Back to Dani Olmo again. Spain will be patient. They'll not rush things. They know how to manage a game. They certainly know how to just keep control. I have to say, I mean, that Austria game, that win over Austria, how comprehensive the result was in the end for Spain. It's probably the best football they've played, not only at this tournament, but certainly the best football they've played probably since they won the Euros back in 2024. Here's Renato Veiga. Right to Mendes. On the line to Felix. Lovely little flick there by Fernandes, and Nuno Mendes with the switch. Out to the right-hand side. A charge is on here from João Cancelo, whose shot was over the crossbar. Yeah, decent effort. He saw the space charge in front of him. Really good switch ball by Nuno Mendes. And then João Cancelo, just unchallenged as he charged towards the Spanish box. As he got to the edge of the area, it's a little bit of a narrower, a tighter angle, a tough angle to try and find the net from. And he just couldn't keep the shot down. Threw a lazy hand at it to Unai Simon, but knew it was always going over the crossbar from that sort of range. Kubarsi. Nicely cut out there, that long diagonal towards Mikel Oyarzabal by Renato Veiga. And Portugal themselves have only conceded 2 goals at the tournament so far. In their opener, that draw in the opener, shall I say, of the tournament for them against DR Congo. And the only other goal they've conceded was that goal against Croatia that they fell behind early in that one. Caoimhan Ferris. Olmo, that's a lovely threaded through ball. Oh yeah, the ball misses the target. Goodness me. I think the flag stayed down as well. Beautiful football from Spain. Nice interchange of play, and he's well onside. Oyarzabal, perfectly weighted ball in behind by Dani Olmo. Split the centre-backs. And that is a really unlike him type finish. Just struck it wide of the right-hand post. Mikel Oyarzabal, fresh off a brace against Austria. Surely there was no man in better form in Spanish colours to take that shot. Not on that occasion or that evidence. Here's Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo trying to dribble his way around a few. Run into trouble but gets the help. Swung in by Vitinha. Little heavy for João Felix. Takes it here on the left-hand side. Felix. Outside of the boot. Cross. Tried to nick it in there was... I think that was João Neves. Nonetheless, it's going to be a Portugal corner. Last touch of a Spanish defender. As it crossed the byline. Beautiful ball in by João Felix. Pure class. A bizarre camera angle that was. But Bruno Fernandes over to take the corner here for Portugal. A good battle so far. Spain missing a real gilt-edged chance just a few seconds ago. This is their first corner, the first corner of the game. Goes Portugal's way. Fernandes on the left-hand side to deliver. Fernandes right-footed. There's a player down. Is it Ronaldo that's down? The shot from the edge is charged down. I wasn't actually watching that. Seeing what Ronaldo was remonstrating about. He felt that he was fouled in the box. Getting them moving though here, Portugal, and nicely mopped up by Rodri. Porro back to Unai Simon, who will launch it long. Picked up by Vega. Doesn't want to be caught on the ball and just get bailed out of trouble there by Vitinha. 10 minutes gone. It's been a good scuffle between the two. Certainly Spain with the best goal-scoring chance so far. Giving away a little cheaply here, Spain at times. Here is Pedro Neto. Neves. Vega. Back to Nuno Mendes. Seems like Portugal have just settled into it now. Just as I say that, a heavy touch there from Bruno Fernandes gives the possession away, and Pedro Porro caught there as João Felix was trying to win the ball back. That's going to be a free kick to Spain. We'll see this between Rodri and Ronaldo again. He did pull the arm of Ronaldo, but is that enough to bring him down? I think it's a little soft for me. Very much grappling and pulling and shoving and physical contact we see in the box now. It really has to be blatantly impeding. That's nicey. One back though. Here he is, Cristiano Ronaldo. Shot charged down and well parried away by Unai Simon. But Portugal look dangerous early doors here. Again, it's a little sloppy. It's Pedri that gives it away cheaply. First time ball by Bruno Fernandes into the space for Ronaldo. Just hung off the right-hand side of the box. And from that angle, a bit narrower than he would have liked, really. Straight down the throat of Simon, who parries it away. But it's the venom in the shot. Forces Simon to parry it rather than catch it. And another Portuguese corner. They feel the momentum is theirs at the moment. Nuno Mendes to take this corner. On the right-hand side. Left-footed delivery. Headed away at the near post. And Mikel Oyarzabal defending in his own box here. A bit of high press there from Spain. Oyarzabal did handle the ball. The referee says play on, as lost his footing there, did Nuno Mendes. Nicely won back by Vitinha, but that didn't last long. It is that scrappy type of game so far. Welcome in Stephen, welcome in Christopher. Thank you very much for joining us. Christopher says Spain v Portugal, what an all-European matchup. Really looking forward to this one. It is going to be a blockbuster. I'm already intrigued with how the game started. Spain haven't dominated the play so far. It's been a pretty even matchup. Both sides have been a little bit cheap in possession at times. Really good press out of possession from both teams. So far, just cancelling each other out. Well, there's no doubt the fact that Spain had the best chance of the game so far. No question of that. I very arguably would say that they should be 1-0 up. Cucurella. Well, that's a good battle. That's the thing. It's a good wrestling match between the two teams. Olmo down the left-hand side. An opportunity here for Spain. Baena trying to direct it in. Will bounce back for Baena, who absolutely launched that one into the stands here at AT&T Stadium. Well, as I said, they shared the spoils in the Nations League final last year. Martin Zubamendi gave Spain the opener. A response from Nuno Mendes not long after had them level at half-time, or going into half-time, before Mikel Oyarzabal snatched the Spain goal before the half. Goal early in the second from Cristiano Ronaldo levelled the peggings again at 2-2. It went all the way to penalties, which in the end Portugal scored all 5 of their penalties. Spain missed 1 with Alvaro Morata, and that secured ultimately the Nations League for Portugal for the second time. Ruben Neves scored the winning penalty in that one. Nuno Mendes, Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha and Gonçalo Ramos scored the winner, of course, in the Croatia game. They all scored from the spot in that game. But it is Portugal's only win over Spain in any of the last 7 meetings, dating back to a friendly in 2010, not long after the World Cup, when they met in 2010. Their last only 2 World Cup meetings, and Portugal have never won either of them. A 3-3 draw back in 2018 in the group, and then a 1-0 win for Spain. David Villa en route to winning the tournament, and that was a round of 16 matchup 16 years ago. As I said, David Villa with the only goal of the game. Here is Bruno Fernandes launching it over the top. Late run from Mendes. An awkward bit of defending from Pau Cubarsí forced his keeper into action. Unai Simon made the catch, but it was an awkward one. That's lovely from Rodri, threaded through. Here's Lamine Yamal onto his left. Good save by Costa. Then the follow-up is well saved by Costa again. A fantastic double save from the Portuguese stopper. Yamal with a first. His was curling to the far left-hand side. Costa parries it away. And then Baena with the return. His was curling to the far right-hand side. And Costa, full stretch, parries it wide for the corner. Wonderful piece of goalkeeping from Diogo Costa. Back to back. Incredible saves. That pass from Rodri was absolutely sensational. Spain with their first corner of the game. Baena, right-footed delivery. Handed away at the back post by Ruben Dias. Yamal clipping it round the back. Cucurella guides it across. Too much on it. Will be kept in play by Olmo. Back to Yamal. Lamine Yamal clipping it to the back post again. 2 queuing up, but it's cleared away. Only as far as Baena. And he was coming back from an offside position there, Lamine Yamal. So couldn't do nothing about that. I have to say, though, better play, though, from Spain. I mean, that threaded through ball from Rodri was absolute perfection. See some of the Portuguese legends watching on. Nuno Mendes wants a change of shirts. Doesn't know how to put a shirt on, Nuno Mendes. Hilarious. One of the best fullbacks in world football and can't put a shirt on. Fabulous. I know it's pretty cliche and pretty easy to say, but the first goal in this game is going to be huge. I mean, I've no doubt if either team goes behind, there will be a reaction from the other, but the first goal really just sets the tone of the match. That's nicely played out to Baena by Rodri. Looking for the underlap of Cucurella, maybe a little bit too much on it. And a great challenge by Ruben Dias. And then that's going to be a foul on Pedro Neto by Alex Baena. That's going to be a free kick to Portugal. Yeah, good step away from Pedro Neto. Good first touch in Baena. Look at that from Ruben Dias. Great committed sliding tackle on Marc Cucurella. when it comes to the World Cup, there's so many fascinating fixtures to look for that you would never usually see. These two have the opportunity to meet. So many opportunities to meet, but it doesn't happen that often in terms of a competitive match. In terms of the stats involving that, they have met 41 times previously, but only 12 of those games were actually in a competitive meeting between the sides. The first of which, keep it back in 1934, in terms of competitive games, that was the qualification for the 1934 World Cup. Spain won 9-0 in Madrid and 2-1 in Lisbon back then, back in March of 1934. Their next competitive meeting was also a World Cup qualifier, but their first international tournament meeting was in Marseille back in 1984 in the Euros. They drew 1-1 back in 1984. They also met in Lisbon in the Euros in 2004. And Portugal were able to get one over on their Iberian rivals in that Euros with a 1-0 win. As I said, it's come around more often recently than it had for so many years. Only once before the 21st century had they met in an international tournament. But here they come now, Portugal! And the shot well over the crossbar by João Cancelo. I think the flag was up anyway for offside. But as I said, only once before 2000 did they meet in a competitive international tournament. Since then, they have met now in 5 different international tournaments. 2 Euros, and now this is their 3rd meeting at a World Cup. All coming within the last 16 years since Spain were crowned world champions back in 2010. They've always been close battles in terms of those competitive matches. There's never been a blowout for one or the other. That absolute blockbuster back in 2018 in Sochi. A 3-3 draw at a World Cup was certainly the most eye-catching when it comes to high scoring and really dramatic games. But these two sides seem much more measured, even with the immense attacking talent. You never really feel there's going to be 2 or 3 goals between them. I think it'll be the odd goal here or there. Might make the difference as they get a free kick here, Spain. Alex Baena just held back by João Cancelo. It is a free kick. Nothing more, though, than just a free kick to Spain. Slightly edged the possession so far, Spain, and in terms of the shots, they've been better chances. 5 shots, 3 on target. Portugal's 3 shots, 1 on target. And XG is massively different, 0.80 for Spain. 0.06 for Portugal, so Spain creating the better chances. Alex Baena then with his free kick. Wide left-hand side. There are 6 Spanish shirts in the middle in white. Baena's right-footed cross bounces off the first Portuguese man in the way, and the shot from range took a deflection of a Spaniard. That's going to be a goal kick. And that will trigger the hydration break. So we can't give you a full comprehensive recap of yesterday's games, or the round of 16 games so far at the halfway stage coming into this one tonight. Morocco 3-0 winners against Canada, even though that game was close until late on. But ultimately the Moroccans once again looking for a repeat of the 2022 semi-finals. They will face France in the quarterfinals of this year's tournaments. France beating Paraguay in what was a dreadful game and a dreadful game plan from Paraguay. Absolutely criminal behaviour against France, but Kylian Mbappe's penalty was enough to see France through to the quarterfinals. Norway causing a bit of an upset there against the mighty Brazil. The 5-time winners knocked out after an Erling Haaland brace had them 2 up going into the last few minutes. Norway Neymar given a last dance in the final minutes with a coolly taken penalty in the 100th minute in his final World Cup appearance as a Brazil player, and maybe his final appearance in a Brazil shirt. And what a blockbuster it was overnight. If you did stay up to watch it, 5 goals, a red card, 2 penalties, and lots of drama, to say the very least, as England saw off Mexico in the Azteca. A 3-2 win for Thomas Tuchel's side means they move on to the quarter-finals. So it's Morocco, France, and Norway v England as our 2 first quarter-final matchups. As I said, the winner of this one tonight will play the winner of USA-Belgium in a few days' time in Los Angeles. This is the way it looks as it stands. On that left-hand side, Portugal, Spain, and then USA, Belgium. The winner of those 2 will play one another. And then we will have the double header tomorrow to round off the round of 16. Argentina, Egypt at 5, followed by Switzerland, Colombia at 9 to decide who will play one another in the quarters on that section. We are getting to the business point of this World Cup, and it is all hotting up at just the right point for this one. So, we're about to come back from the hydration break. Portugal 0, Spain 0. Spain have certainly had the better chances so far, but not able to find the finish on any of those to this point. Portugal themselves had 1 or 2 glimpses, but mostly from set pieces, really where Portugal have had the majority of their threat. But Roberto Martinez just offering some tactical analysis to his players just before they have to return to the field of play here. I think for Portugal it's just about trying to stay in the game. It's not about being too aggressive against Spain. Wait for your opportunity. They will come. It will come if you're patient. But you've got to be clinical. As I said, Spain don't give up goals at this tournament. They barely give up chances at this tournament. So it is going to need a moment of special class from Portugal. But who would doubt them? These 2 very intriguing. As we get back underway with a Portuguese goal kick. Diogo Costa. Ruben Dias down the right-hand flank. Looking for the run of Pedro Neto, who's covered over by Marc Cucurella, of course. Chelsea teammates at 1 point. Of course, Cucurella no longer of the London Blues, now of Real Madrid, as of the last couple of weeks. Pedro Neto, of course, still at Chelsea. Throw in here for Spain on the right-hand side. Porro. Back here to Kubarsi. Square to Rodri. We'll play it back now to Unai Simon. Spain just happy to be patient at the moment. Give it away a little cheaply there with that poor ball. Nuno Mendes picking it up here. Wasn't given away through. Has to put it out for the throw. We will put a poll in the chat just to ask you who you want to win the game. Who are you supporting tonight? Let us know what you think in the chats. And we'll keep that poll open right the way throughout the game. Vitinha just about squeezing that out to Bruno Fernandes on the left-hand side. Mendes back here to Renato Veiga. Diaz. Good battle player from Spain as they win it back in the middle. Pedri, Olmo rolling it in behind. Yamal was tracked and challenged by two. Nuno Mendes, but Renato Vega with the sliding challenge to stop it from squeezing through that little gap that emerged. And at the moment, got away with that one, Portugal. Good bit of defending, but that threat, that ball from the midfield from Spain into Lamine Yamal in that half space on the right-hand side has already caused them problem. And it almost threatened to do so again. The referee saying no to a handball argument from there. Pedro Neto did come off his chest and then off his arm. It is a handball. Inadvertent, accidental maybe, but handball. Olmo, Yamal, waiting for the overlap. Porro charging down the right. He's got the ball and the cross was blocked by Nuno Mendes. And a corner here to Spain. It seemed nice though. Just slowed it down, Spain, and then came bursting around the outside was Pedro Porro. Nuno Mendes getting back to react and defend. 1v1. Opportunity for Baena to deliver again. Right on the half-hour mark. Baena goes short to Olmo. Back to Baena. Yamal. Square to Porro. Switches it out to his opposite full-back. And now Cucurella. Inside for Pedri, who launches it into the box. And a miscue. Olmo heads it wide. Well, Diogo Costa with the stop initially in such an awkward space. See this. Clip ball over the top. Actually makes too much pace on it. Takes it into the feet of Diogo Costa, who makes the stop. And then on the rebound, Dani Olmo chucking himself at it. Diving at it. Just misdirects it. Beautiful ball by Pedri though. Such a dangerous pass. Causing all sorts of concern. As Ronaldo is hacked down there by Aymeric Laporte. Former Manchester opposites, those two. Ronaldo on the red side, Laporte on the blue side, but no longer of those aversions any longer. Just over a half an hour gone here in Dallas. And again, it still continues to be the game where Spain seem to be the slightly more aggressive of the two at this moment in time, as you would probably expect. The expectation would be more, in my opinion, on Spain than Portugal to go out and win this and try and overcome the opponent with your pure sheer quality. The rhythm that Spain are in, you wouldn't doubt them in doing that, but Portugal are playing pretty well, not only defensively, but trying to cause Spain some problems of their own. It's easier said than done, though, against the European champions. Rodri to Pedri. Cross now to Kubarsi. Directing it through. That one was collected by João Felix back to his goalkeeper in Diogo Costa. That's the crucial point for Portugal. They can't allow those through balls, those line-breaking passes from Spain, because that's where they will absolutely punish you. They will crucify you if you allow them to play those types of passes. And on a number of occasions we've seen it. Lamine Yamal's been the target of the end of those types of passes. Portugal have done well to break those apart on quite a few occasions to this point. When they don't, that's where Spain's best chances have come. Mikel Oyarzabal 1v1 and Lamine Yamal in behind as well. Two of their best chances in those sorts of areas. Lovely play here. Olmo turning was Oyarzabal. Baena out wide now to Cucurella. Back to Alex Baena. Pedri. Porro. Now down the line to Lamine Yamal. Up against Nuno Mendes. Fakes the ball in behind. Olmo fires across. Too far ahead of Baena and Oyarzabal, who were chasing in. And Portugal scramble it clear in the nick of time. Beautiful from Lamine Yamal, though. A little feinted pass. Reversed into the path of Olmo, who made the run. And then Olmo darting it across, low and hard, across the edge of the 6-yard area. Baena and Oyarzábal slightly behind them. Here's Baena. Cucurella. Laporte to Baena. Baena with the early cross. Headed away by Vega. Cycled quickly by Porro into Rodri. Now Pedri. Upping the tempo a little bit here, Spain. Moving it sharper and quicker. Not waiting around. Rodri beats off a challenge of Bruno Fernandes. Now Yamal inside to Pedri. Wide to Yamal. Yamal trying to take on a man, run into Nuno Mendes. And a slide tackle from Lamine Yamal on João Felix is going to see Portugal given a free kick. And I think Lamine Yamal might not get away with this one on that front. We'll see this again. Ooh, it's a good challenge. From what I could see, I think it's a decent challenge there for me. Referee saw it as a foul. Mendes swinging it across the field there with that first time delivery. All the way back to Vega it comes. Under all sorts of pressure from Dani Olmo here. Did well to work out of it, Renato Vega, but only for a Spanish throw. They're piling on the pressure now, Spain. Both in and out of possession. Portugal, this is a spell they just need to survive right now. Just over 10 minutes to go with the first half. Still goalless here in Dallas. Between the world number 2 and the world number 5 in the live FIFA rankings. Barsi trying to whip one in behind, too narrow. And easy for Diogo Costa to claim ahead of Mikel Oyarzábal. Costa. Diaz. And the right cutout by Cucurella. On his heels there was Baena, but he does end up winning the throw out of the situation. Well, as it stands, the poll is quite convincingly in one direction. After those votes, keep those votes coming in, but the vast majority, over 80% of the chat, think Portugal will win this game. As it stands, long way to go. Keep those votes coming in. Let us know your thoughts, your opinion. Cucurella charging and challenging. Did well to work out of that again. Under pressure, João Cancelo. Ronaldo dropping deeper. Lays it back to Vega, who returns the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo. Nice, João Felix, quick feet. Breaks away from his man. Vitinha picks it up as Felix was fouled. The referee says play advantage. Switched out to the right. Overload here on the right-hand side for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes. They need to move it quickly, though. Ball clipped into the box, back post, João Felix, overhead kick by Ronaldo is into the hands of Unai Simon. Well, that was a wonderful delivery. João Felix has hurt himself in the aftermath there. But let's see this again. Guides it back across, Simon gets in the way, but it rebounds into the path of Ronaldo, who tries to flick it with the outside of his right boot, over his head, facing well away from goal. Would have been an audacious one, but Unai Simon's recovery was quick and sharp and got two hands to the ball. Well, luckily, thankfully, João Felix is okay. He was off the field with a bit of pain. The referee going to give Spain an uncontested drop ball here to their goalkeeper, Unai Simon, but that was dangerous from Portugal. Certainly the most dangerous moments of the game for the Portuguese. Best move of the game, you have to say. As Pedro Neto's down now. Whatever the issue here is with the Portuguese winger. And João Felix getting some ice rubbed on his arm. Whatever must have grazed it or scraped it off somewhere. In the aftermath of his header, just the momentum. Oh, absolutely clattered into the advertising boards there. Absolutely thumped into it. Just the momentum from João Felix that just carried him into the advertising boards. There's an issue with Pedro Neto's boot. and he wasn't too happy with, but he's happy now to put it back on and just continue. But certainly Portugal's best dangerous moment of the game. Oh, that's why it seems to be ripped at the back. Pedro Neto's boot there. Well, he'll play on with it for now. Spanish fans enjoying themselves in the crowd. Long ball from Unai Simon. Maybe heart and mouth moments that from that Portuguese chance. That's a crunching challenge by Pedro Porro. Little bit cynical from the Spurs defender. That'll be a free kick to Portugal here. And João Felix just clattered into it. It's really poor that from Pedro Porro, I have to say. It's a really lazy challenge. Really lazy. It's evened up a little bit, but not too much. Keep those votes coming in. Thank you very much for getting involved in the chat. 70% of the chat still saying that Portugal will win as it stands. 30% saying Spain, but keep those votes coming in as Portugal do well to win a corner down the right there. João Cancelo, winning the corner. Penny says I support England. Christopher says I'm for Spain. Zeb says in Zimbabwe I support CR7. Stephen says I'm Scottish, but Pedro one of my favourite players. So really good mix in the chat. Thank you very much for getting involved. As, Pedro Neto does get a change of boot while the ball is out of play here. And a corner here for Portugal. They're at third of the game. Their delivery on this right-hand side incoming from Nuno Mendes. And the most dangerous moment of the game came from a cross from that right-hand side. Corner taken short. Cancelo back to Nuno Mendes, who's taking up a space in the middle. Oh, and the deflection took it onto the crossbar. Goodness me. What a shot from Nuno Mendes, by the way. But you have to say, Portugal looking more dangerous at the moment. This for an effort. Just bounces off the head of Pedro Porro, gets in the way of it, and it absolutely rifles off the crossbar. Smasher off the crossbar, that. Mendes will take the throw on the far left side. Portugal having the better spell here at the moment. Launch into the box. The referee will call for a retake, I think. He wasn't too happy with some of the grappling in the middle. So they will retake it here, Portugal. Mendes to go again. Goes short this time. Vitinha back to Nuno Mendes. Kind of miscued it with his left boot. Challenges flying in everywhere. Spade come away with the ball as Yamal rides a few challenges. It could be away here. Does really well off balance to work it out wide, but bit of a rescue job there for Alex Baena, who's done well to hang on to it right down the byline. Quickly retrieved by Cucurella as the challenge come in there from a Portuguese defence. Here's Lamine Yamal. Wanted a foul, but kind of lost his balance as he was charging through. And that ball will roll into the hands of Diogo Costa. João Felix there. That's a fabulous challenge. A nonchalant little flick away from Lamine Yamal. Really good so far from João Felix. He's been heavily involved in the game so far. There's Al Nasser, of course, now. João Felix in Saudi Arabia. He won the Saudi Pro League just in the season just past. He, of course, won the Club World Cup with Chelsea last season. Pedri gives it away there. It's Fernandes now. Ronaldo much deeper than where you would want them, or where he would want to be. As Portugal recycle the ball at the back. Christopher says, honestly, despite Spain being the favourites, you feel it's the type of game that could just go either way. 100%. And for Spain, I don't think they would want to... I mean, they'll relish a big matchup against any team at any point. But round of 16, you kind of feel maybe that step a step early for having those big matchups. You think a quarter-final is where it all kicks off. You know you're going to play 3 tough opponents if you go from the quarterfinals onwards. The round of 16, you're kind of hoping for a team that, like of an Austria game, where they feel they can certainly are the stronger side and can get the better of them. But this type of tough opponent, I mean, you're going to face them anyway at some point if you go all the distance. But maybe feel that this is not the type of game they want, Spain, but they'll not shy away from wanting it. No doubt about it. Enjoyable watch so far, but I think at the end of things, I really feel there's very little between them in the first half. I think Spain have had the better chances, but in terms of like the overall play, there's been very little between them. It's been individual moments that have made the difference. That's a nicely weighted ball by Olmo, just away from Cancelo. Baena, Cucurella back to Olmo. The one thing is though, from this first half, Olmo, nice turn though. Here's Oyarzabal onto his left. Just escaped him as he tried to skip a yard or two to his left. Shot from Rodri over the crossbar. So we'll have 6 added minutes at the end of this first half. Rodri from long range there. Always rising. Rose quite a lot. Portugal win the throw down the right-hand side here with Pedro Neto. I think Spain have played a little bit with the handbrake on in this first half, if I'm being honest. Luis de la Fuente said have just been a little bit not as gung-ho. Certainly in the wide areas. We've seen Baena and Yamal. We know the quality they possess of taking out men on 1v1. We just haven't seen that as much in this first half. It's been more get the ball wide and work it back, recycle it inside again. That's a lovely way to ball in behind. Ronaldo just evaded him at the last second. Very nice. Simon was able to claim. Again, lovely weighted ball though. Just angled away from Ronaldo at the last second. There's the danger though from both teams. Runners from in behind. Runners in behind, shall I say. Runners from deep. That's what I meant. Rodri. Olmo. Porro. Clipping it. Again, another runner in behind. Here's Lamine Yamal. Off target, but the deflection of Nuno Mendes took it off target, and he was offside anyway, Lamine Yamal. Now, see it again here. Yeah, he just went far too early. Good second early. Trying to be quick, trying to be hanging off the back of the defender, but just a little bit too early from Yamal that time. Well, one back by Baena here. Sharp passing again from Spain. There's Olmo round the corner. Oyarzabal pinning it up, and referee's going to pull it back for a foul on Dani Olmo. Just beforehand, it's going to be a Spanish free kick. Nice weighted ball, and yeah, just caught there. A little late, that challenge. That's a really good poster. The legend versus the future. He might not be the future, he's the present, Lamine Yamal. Reports that Cristiano Ronaldo, this might be his last run at it to try and achieve World Cup glory. Free kick here for Spain. Alex Baena over it. Good 20 odd yards out, maybe 30 yards. Clipped round the back. Caught by Rodri. Little flick round the front post was ultimately going to be pulled back for a foul on Portugal. Free kick. Three minutes to go of the half. Very little between them. Penny says, I so wanted Scotland to win their games. They were the best supporters in the World Cup. They will be remembered in Boston. They made people happy with fun they brought. Yeah, 100%. Scotland's fans, I said it in my review of the group stages, the only part of that whole Scottish cohort that didn't let themselves down was the fans. They were absolutely sensational, but the players and the manager and everything around that just weren't good enough. They didn't play good enough. And they were very wasteful at times, mistake-ridden. And in these big games, at this type of tournaments, you can't be riddled with mistakes. You need to be solid. And they weren't that at times, Scotland. Christopher says, oh yeah, the ball honestly should have put that away that early chance, though. Shocking that he missed the target. Yeah, well, sometimes games like this, it's all about who can have the hold their nerve and who can just find that extra little moment individually. You know, this is the makings of a tight game where both teams have good chances, and it all comes down to who can take that moment, because they'll both create. There's no question about that. We said that coming into the game. Both sides have great attacking talent, but it's about who steps up in the right moment, who creates that moment, who scores the goal, who creates that magic for their team. Right now this side have had that clinical edge. There's a long way to find it, and one that won't unsettle either team is the fact that their opposition haven't been able to take their chances as of yet, which won't force them out of their comfort zone just yet. That's where I kind of feel Spain have played with the handbrake on a little bit. They don't want to go too far at Portugal too early, then leave nothing left in the tank later on with the quality they've got off the bench that can cause them so much danger. Of course, Spain have options off the bench as well, but the point that I think Spain have the pressure of knowing this is a game where they need to play to their top. Portugal know it in the exact same front. They're both going forward and in defence. They need to be absolutely impeccable to try and find a way to beat this Spain team, the Spanish side. As I said, the winner of this will play either USA or Belgium in Los Angeles in the quarter-finals. Now Simon with the long free kick. Bouncing ball down the left, kept in there by Baena. Trying to feed it in behind for the runaway. Yeah, the ball well cut out by Ruben Dias. Right for the throw. No time to take it. That's the end of the first half. And in their 13th competitive meeting, their third of the World Cup between these two, it is quite simply honours even at the brick. The Iberian derby is really quite a tasty one, but neither side have laid a glove on the other two much. Both defences holding firm at the moment. Nothing to separate them at the break. Half time in Dallas. It's Portugal 0, Spain 0. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a fourth, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible!
easy to use. So call my time, but you weren't really mine, just something to do. Thought I never knew. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even learning? Do you even leave now, make your escape. You know the fortune favors the brave. So close, just get away. No surprise, but nevertheless, I'm still stuck in self-defense. No surprise, but nevertheless, I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your eyes. Do you even do you even I get lost when I look in your eyes. I just want to be next to your I get lost when I look in your do you even do you even
Welcome back to World Cup 2026, half-time in Dallas in the round of 16. It is Portugal 0, Spain 0 in this one. Certainly both sides have had big chances, but nothing to separate them at the break between the two sides. 3 more round of 16 ties to come after this one. USA-Belgium is in the middle of the night. The winner of this will play the winner of that game. And then we will have a double-header for you tomorrow. Argentina take on Egypt at 5. Followed by Switzerland, Colombia at 9 o'clock tomorrow night. But before all that, let's really recap what was a pretty strong quality first half from both teams. I think both will want more, certainly from their attacking play, from what we saw from that first half. But I kind of think, yes, Spain is still the team that are the more aggressive, still the team that look the more likely. But at this stage, you would have to say Portugal have had some good chances as well. Not that we expected that to be any less, but I think right now, I said it in that first half, Spain, I think, have the handbrake on. I think there are moments in this game where they could have took the extra attacking chance, could have took the extra risk, and they didn't. They decided, no, we'll recycle it, we'll wait. So they're being patient, Spain, at this moment in time, and I think they don't want to kind of give it all up too early, and then leave themselves a little bit exposed on the back end come later in the game. But for Portugal's point of view, it is about being patient for them, because they need to be defensively solid and work off the ball so hard that when they do get their chances, maybe on the counter-attack or in those transition moments with those wide players and the fullbacks, that's where they can strike. And of course they've got Cristiano Ronaldo up top, so if you can find him at 9 times out of 10, you'll find the back of the net. So there are still major positives for both teams, but I think they'll want to be a little bit more clinical, certainly, in the final third. Both have had good chances, just not taking them. I think Spain have definitely had the better of the chances. Mikel Oyarzábal's opportunity that he missed wide of the target. I mean, Yamal's looked dangerous in behind once or twice. So a couple of really good chances for Spain here and there, but nothing in terms of, really, ultimately, they haven't been able to take those chances. I think that double save from Diogo Costa when Yamal cut onto his left and curled it to the far corner, that was well saved, and then the rebound to Alex Baena into the opposite corner, well saved again. So Costa's had more to do, you would say, than Unai Simon, but I think both goalkeepers have been called into equal action at times in that first half. So I think there's very little to separate them, really, from that first half, to really be honest, from that. And why we had that transition, I'm not too sure. But if we can have a look at the graphic on the left-hand side of your screen, that shows you the stats and the way things are building up at the moment. Spain slightly edging the possession side of things, just 55 to 45, so not dominating the ball. But in terms of the expected goals, Spain's chances that they've created have been much more dangerous. Despite only having 3 more shots and only 1 more shot on target than Portugal, those chances are becoming more dangerous for Spain. So they've certainly had the better chances. More touches in the opposition box. 2 big chances for Spain, which they've missed both. Better passing accuracy slightly, and more corners for Portugal. But certainly you would feel that it comes down to really, at this moment in time, Spain just being more clinical in the final third with their chances, because they've had the good opportunities. And Portugal, you never know, if Spain can't capitalise on those moments, then it's about being clinical at the back end and in the counter-attack, going up the other way for Portugal to try and take advantage of those missed opportunities from Spain's point of view. A reminder for you, Argentina-Egypt is tomorrow, 5 o'clock. And our penultimate action from the round of 16 as the world champions take on, well, the King of Egypt in Mo Salah, who progressed past Australia on penalties. We'll see how Egypt fare tomorrow against the world champions in Atlanta, after they had a close shave against Cape Verde in the round of 32, Argentina. So they'll not take anyone for granted if they want to progress to the quarter-finals once again, and they will play the winner of our later game tomorrow, Switzerland against Colombia. Right, second half between Portugal and Spain in this Iberian derby is on the way next. Do stay with us. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there! Liverpool are Premier League champions! And there it comes! Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners! Oh, he's found the net! Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a 4th, and does so! Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable. Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and battered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible. A very good evening, welcome back to World Cup 2026 half-time in Dallas. It's Portugal 0, Spain 0, second half on the way in just a moment. But before that, let's remind you that you can, of course, keep up to date with everything that happens World Cup here on LFS over the next week or two, over the next 2 weeks, to we crown our winner of the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on push notifications if you haven't done so already, because you don't want to miss any of what's to come from the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and the live final, plus the third place playoff as well, here on LFS, right to the end of the tournament on July the 19th. So looking forward to it. Just short of 2 weeks away until we have our World Cup winner. It has come around so quickly, but so far it's been so enjoyable, and we're not done yet, to say the very least. And thank you all for joining us for this one. A quick update on the poll in the chat, because those votes flying in. Thank you very much for getting involved. Keep those coming for us. So far it's just over 70%, so still averaging out. Quite a big gap for Portugal in terms of the poll at the moment. 71% saying Portugal will win, 29% saying that Spain will win the game. So keep those votes coming in, and thank you very much for your support. Of course, we celebrated our 4th birthday yesterday at LFS since we launched the channel and started covering football 4 years ago for the Women's World Cup, and 4 years later it is time for the Men's World Cup to have its go, and we are underway again for the second half here in Dallas. It's a pretty honours even first period, despite Spain having the better of the chances. Nothing to separate the sides come the interval. How quickly can that change? Here's Alex Baena. Early cross for Spain, looking for Olmo. Cleared away by Vega. Quickly retrieved by Cucurella on the edge, but he gives it away cheaply. Room for Pedro Neto to chase down the right-hand side. He's breaking away here, Neto. He's got Ronaldo along with him. Slightly isolated as he will spin it back into midfield. Nicely worked there. Bruno Fernandes. Again, turning the angle, but bouncing back. And out for the goal kick. Challenge there, Nuno Mendes against Pedro Porro down that right hand side. Nice turn there from Joao Felix. On this left hand side, 1-2 with Vitinha. Vega, Vitinha, Ruben Dias down the right hand side now to Neto. Cuts back onto his left. Inside to Vitinha, little 1-2 between those two, and it'll be a Spain throw as it goes out of play. Bit perplexed there, Pedro Neto, at how the decision went the way of Spain, but it did. And the European champions back on the ball once again. Porro charging it back to Pau Cubarsí, and now Unai Simon. Across now to Aymeric Laporte. Olmo. Little lay off, but that's given away cheaply by Pedri. Again, just a little bit loose in possession at times, Spain, as Ronaldo there does really well to win the foul out of Dani Olmo. That's going to be a free kick to Portugal high up the field. Yeah, it is a foul. Dani Olmo can't believe it, but foul it is. Well, Portugal have certainly had the best chances from set pieces and crosses. Certainly looked the more threatening in those sorts of situations. Now they have another set piece. They've certainly got a great deliverer of set pieces in Bruno Fernandes and Nuno Mendes. So two. These are the two that are queuing up for this free kick. Slightly to the right. Good distance out, but 35 yards or so in range. Stuttering. Fernandes will swing it in, and that one was far too close to the Spanish goalkeeper. And Unai Simon. Quickly retrieved though. Heavy touch from Baena. João Neves back to Fernandes, rolls it through for Vega. João Cancelo clips it well off target, bobbled behind for a goal kick. Whether he was trying to go for a goal himself or clip it across for someone in the mix, Joao Cancelo. None of his teammates on the same page. And a goal kick is what prevails. They said the last competitive meeting between these two ended in a draw, score draw. Portugal ultimately won out on penalties. Will this be a repeat? Remember, Spain were knocked out at the round of 16 at the last World Cup by Morocco on penalties after a goalless draw. You don't want to see any sort of repeat of that. Here's Oyarzabal, Pedri. Now Lamine Yamal just running into Nuno Mendes and not getting the joy that he wanted. Nuno Mendes wins the foul out of Lamine Yamal. Yeah, fabulous from Nuno Mendes. I think he's been absolutely excellent. 1v1 so far. It's been said over the last few years, probably one of the best fullbacks in football, if not the best left back in world football right now, Nuno Mendes. So far he is locking up one of the brightest right wing talents on the world stage. He's giving him absolutely nothing so far in this one. Rodri lays it out wide here to Baena. Got options ahead. Baena's pass was a little bit telegraphed. Easily stopped by Vitinha, who plays a lovely weighted ball down the right hand side for Pedro Neto here. Drifting away from Aymeric Laporte, guiding it across and right through that corridor danger of the 6-yard area. No one in the mix to find the finish there for Portugal, but beautiful play by Pedro Neto. Good interception per ball by Baena. Well intercepted, shall I say. Great first time ball. Neto 1v1. We know how dangerous he is when he gets on his bike down that right hand side. And the ball into the box just ahead of Ronaldo. And the chasing. I think chasing in as well was Joao Felix, but neither could get on the end of it. Game opening up a little bit more. Yamal waiting it in behind for Olmo. Again, Nuno Mendes has the measure of it perfectly. And we'll let it roll out for the throw. Nice take in there by Vitinha from the long throw. Trying to break the lines quicker here, Portugal. Spain a little bit unsettled in those sorts of situations. They worked it out well, closing off the Ronaldo path again, but again, Spain looking a bit vulnerable in those situations. But here comes Lamine Yamal. He's got away from Nuno Mendes this time, bobbles it across, and no white shirts in the mix there for Spain to get on the end of that ball. Hooked away at the back post by Joao Cancelo. Yeah, it's a rare win 1v1 for Lamine Yamal against Nuno Mendes tonight. Another opportunity then. Porro with a throw in, taken short back to Kubarsi. Early in this second half, it has been quite the foray from both teams. Quite the display, shall we say. Up in the ante a little bit. Kubarsi. Wide to Porro. Tracked all the way by Joao Felix. Fired ball by Yamal into Porro's path, and that actually gives it away for Spain. Room for Bruno Fernandes to try and evade pressure. Does well to find Ronaldo. Surrounded by a number, but Cristiano Ronaldo's bursting away, and then felt he was caught. Referee said no, a fair challenge there by Pedro Porro to break it apart. We're going to kick the ball out of play here, Spain. Issue here for Nuno Mendes, which is not a good sign for Portugal, that. That does not look good at all for Portugal. Nuno Mendes down. Does not look happy. See this again. The way he slid in. Try and get a block on the Yamal cross a little earlier. Maybe that is what has caused the issue. Have to wait and see, but he's currently being checked up on for the moment. Is the Portuguese left back. Thankfully for Portugal, Nuno Mendes is back to his feet, but whether he will be returning to play or not is another question. He seems to be okay to come off, but is he coming off as a whole? I think he might be, you know. He is, so they're going to make this change. Nelson Semedo looks like the one that's going to be getting himself ready to come on here for Portugal. Nelson Semedo, of course, many will know from his time at Wolves. That's the end of the day for Nuno Mendes. So I'd say either Semedo would come on and play right back and Cancelo would move to left, or he could play at left back, Nelson Semedo. But Nuno Mendes, we were singing his praises just a few minutes ago at how incredible he is as a 1v1 defender. One of the best fullbacks in the world, and his day at the World Cup in the round of 16 cut short. If things don't go his team's way, it could be the end of their tournament altogether. It's a massive blow to Portugal, though. Albeit you have strength and depth, but there's nothing quite like the threat of Nuno Mendes in your team. Just unmatchable, really. Well, so far it is Semedo playing on that left back position. Cancelo stayed out at right back for the moment. Whether that changes as the game goes on or not, they certainly can swap, but for now they stick to what it is. A like for like swap at left back. Well, consoled by his teammate there, Bernardo Silva, Nuno Mendes, as he strolls around the pitch towards the Portuguese bench. Done really well against Lamine Yamal today. And now Yamal will be licking his lips thinking, right, I've got rid of him. Now it's time to really turn it on. And there's no shortage of time to try and find the opportunities now for Spain down that side. But Nelson Semedo, again, is a real gritty, difficult defender to face as well. Currently playing at Fenerbahce. 32-year-old, so no shortage of experience. Pedri trying to dart one in behind. Too much there for Dani Olmo. Cancelo. Looking for the run of Vitinha. That was cut out by Pedri. Cucurella. Inside to Rodri. Switches it out to the left now for Baena. Goes early with the cross. Olmo with a little flick round the man, but that was well cut out by Renato Veiga. Room here for Portugal to break as Fernandes bursting away down the left-hand side. He's got coverage with Pedro Porro there, Spain. As Fernandes turns back on his heels and feeds it back to Nelson Semedo. Here is Semedo. Back to Vitinha now. Fernandes. Neves. Yeah, I said early in the game, this could come down to who scores first. And what way this game turns, because it is on an edge at the moment. It could go either way. João Felix, heads of the box, clipping it round the back. Ronaldo was the target, and he did get his foot to it. Just not enough of a clean connection to really test Unai Simon. Perfect idea. Great execution. It's not the finish on the end of it from Ronaldo. Maybe just stretching a little bit maybe for it after all. But really good idea. That's what I mean. They've had moments, you have to say, in this game. Portugal definitely. Whether Spain can be more clinical with the chances and the better chances they've had is the big question mark. Long way to go. Just over 30 minutes left on the clock. Still goalless here in Dallas. And what has been a real cagey derby between these two. Both have tried their hardest to find the opener, but to no avail for either team just yet. Roberto Martinez and Luis de la Fuente, in terms of tactically, when do they make their changes? Here's Lamine Yamal. Back to Porro. Kubarsi. Rodri. Kubarsi. Wide to Yamal. Options growing aplenty here for Spain. As Yamal again couldn't squeeze away through. He tried to play that reverse pass. In the end, he's going to give away a foul on Joao Felix that time, who was back helping Nelson Semedo defend that situation. Yeah, really good interception from Joao Felix. I've been really impressed. Joao Felix at his time at Chelsea was really criticised for his lack of tracking back. But in this game, he's done really, really well. That was loose from Pedro Neto. Given away to Spain here. Olmo rolls it across. Pedri! Over the bar. Took a deflection, but it will be a corner. Renato Vega putting his body on the line. Look at that. Olmo really composed. Just lays it back across. Touch to set it up from Pedri. And then rifled it with his right foot towards goal. Come up off Renato Vega. And in behind for a Spain corner. Baena with the delivery. Bounce down to the edge of the box. Chance to shoot from range. Another deflection off the shot from Yamal. That'll be another corner. First two corners of the half, both going Spain's way. One after another. Baena to take again on this left-hand side. I kind of feel we're getting to the point in the game where a goal here will be a massive momentum swing. For the spell that we have left, Baena delivers and calmly into the hands of Diogo Costa, commanding his area. The Portuguese goalkeeper offering no opportunity there for Spain to capitalise. Laporte was the closest. Strong hands from the Portuguese stopper, who's had to come up with some big saves already in the game. That one pretty routine. Diagonal there, out to the far right hand side. Cancelo, nice step infield, reverse pass, played on by João Neves. Bobble around as Cucurella got in his way. Almost got turned around by the ball, didn't know where the ball was there, lost it in possession. Vitinha, Fernandez, a little bit too hesitant there, Fernandez, but he'll get away with it. He'll get the foul, but took too long on the ball. Pedri was going to come in and battle. Ultimately, he did it illegally, Pedri, but Fernandez can't be expecting that much time on the ball in this type of game. Hanging on a knife edge. But on what side will the knife drop? And onto whose toe? That will be an excruciating goal to concede for either one of these two teams at this moment in time. Cucurella scrambling away as Neto was charging in. It's ebbed and flowed this game, where Spain have had their moments, then Portugal have their moments, then Spain, then Portugal. Just switching between the two sides, like a good real battle at Wimbledon. A good tennis rally between the two teams. It's battered back and forth right the way throughout in little spells. Neither side have really dominated Spain certainly the more dangerous, but as I said, to that point, haven't been clinical at those chances to this point. Semedo back to his goalkeeper in Costa. Ruben Dias chipping it forward, a little bit awkwardly, inaccurately. Taken in by Pedri. Used his footwork to skip the pressure of Vitinha. Laporte, Kubarsi, Rodri. Well, it was around this time, back in 2010, when David Villa scored that goal against Portugal for Spain in the round of 16 of a World Cup to see the Spanish through to the quarter-finals in that one. Is there a one-man show on course here for Spain or Portugal to do the same 16 years later? Yamal, nice work, finds Baena. Options aplenty, but Baena stopped by the first man in his way. Given right back to him though. Baena! Just taken in by Costa. Trying to work it to that far corner, Alex Baena. He didn't have the pace on it. Just kind of toe poked it a little bit. It was just spinning away towards that far corner, but just not enough on it to test Diogo Costa of any real great nature. He hit 25 minutes from time. It still remains goalless. Remember, extra time and penalties if necessary to decide a winner. At this stage, a long way to go for that to be avoided. Pedri. Darting it out to the right. Lamine Yamal. Two in his wake. Yamal waits it in behind. Clip back across. That was a dangerous ball in again. But no one on the spot from Pedro Porro's cutback to slice it in. Really good play again. We kind of saw that in the game against Austria for Spain, where they were really at their best, where the fullbacks stayed wide and the wingers stayed wide, shall I say, and the fullbacks came inverted. On that occasion, that's what happened. Yamal waited it in behind for the underlap from Pedro Porro. Just the cutback couldn't find a Spanish player in the box. I have to say, Mikel Oyarzábal's gone a little quiet in the game. Really seen much of the Spanish centre forward since the first half, and early in the first half at that. Gone a little bit unnoticed. Maybe that's a danger. Here's Lamine Yamal up against Semedo, try to cut inside him. Referee said it was a fair challenge as Yamal went down to ground, but quickly Spain worked to win it back. Kubarsi. Rodri across. Nice little touch and turn from Baena. Pedri down the line to Yamal. Again, Felix and Semedo in the way and has to work it backwards. Rodri to Kubarsi. Porro. Edging towards, of course, the hydration break in the second half as well. That could really kill the momentum. More often than not it does, and the momentum ends up swinging the opposite way, so Spain might need to take advantage of this spell of possession. The next 30 seconds to a minute before the hydration break is taken. Driving up the field is Baena. Again, maybe played the ball a little early, and the sea of red shirts in the way blocked him off, as that was actually cut short as Portugal put it straight out of play for a throw. And that will trigger the hydration break right on the halfway point of the second half. And it is, once again, as has been right the way throughout the tournament, greatly received by the crowd, who are definitely making their voices heard when it comes to these hydration breaks at this tournament. But we get into the final quarter, in a sense. I don't like saying that because it's very Americanized, but we get to the final 22.5 minutes of the game. And it gets to the point where a goal at this stage could be the difference, could be the winner for one of these two teams. And they take on some hydration. A reminder of the poll in the chat. It has slightly narrowed in Spain's favour, but still very much well out in front with the poll. 65% still saying that Portugal will win this game. Spain at 35% So the European champions not backed by the chat at this moment in time. Haven't been right from the start of that poll. But right now, the fans enjoying a bit of Bon Jovi here in Dallas. And in a stadium, in a city, it's most known for its cowboy nature. Will there be someone to grab this game by the lasso and really roll their team into their quarterfinals and sail off into the sunset? Or will we need all the time and the ultimate decider to see the difference between these two, like we did 12 months ago in the Nations League final? And the last World Cup meeting, as I said, between these two ended 3-3. Ronaldo scoring a hat-trick in that one. Diego Costa with 2. And Nacho with the other for Spain. Ronaldo free kick in the 88th minute levelled that game at 3-3 for Portugal. We might need a moment of magic, of true inspired play from a set piece to really make the difference between these two sides who've played a well-matched game so far to this point. But is there something or someone who can make the difference? So, into the final 20 minutes of normal time. What can occur? Looks like they're going to go to their bench here, Portugal. Not forced, anyway. Diogo Dalot is going to be coming on for João Cancelo. And Rafael Leao is going to be coming on. And he is going to replace... I'm not too sure, it hasn't told me. Leao is going to replace João Felix. So João Cancelo and João Felix replaced by Diogo Dalot and Rafael Leao. So double substitution for Portugal. Leao, who set up the moments that won it in the round of 32 for Portugal against Croatia for Gonçalo Ramos. And he come off the bench here in Dallas to have a similar sort of late impact. Spain on the move here, and Yamal was dragged back that time on the edge of the box. That's going to be a Spain free kick. Referee says a foul and no more from Nelson Semedo. Yeah, just hauling back the right shoulder of Lamine Yamal. He was thinking about showing the referee the imaginary yellow card and then thought, well, I shouldn't. Smart from Lamine Yamal, because he would have got himself a booking if he'd have done that. Free kick for Spain then. There's 3 players around it for Spain. Now dropped to 2, and now to 1, I think, by Einan Oyarzabal stepping away. It's Yamal over it. It's Lamine Yamal, who won the free kick, is going to take it. Wide on the right, round the edge of the box. Swung in, it goes! And over the top by Diogo Costa. On target from Yamal. But Costa parried it over the top. Really good whip ball. Just dipped at the last second, and a forced palm from Diogo Costa to see it behind for the corner. Right-footed delivery, parried away by Costa at the back post, bouncing down for Semedo to clear, and does. Porro will just guide it back to his goalkeeper, Unai Simon. And certainly in the second half, just one shot on target from either side. That was from Spain. That was that free kick from Lamine Yamal. Both sides have really struggled in the second half to really find a way past the other. Thought it'd be more open in the second half. It's actually gone the opposite direction, and it's been more cagey, more difficult to find a way through the opposition than it was in the first. It looked like there was some movement from the Spanish bench. Ferran Torres looked like the one that was getting ready for Spain. It's both sides swimming in talent on the benches. Seymour directing it into the path of Olmo, who reverses it round the corner, and Lamine Yamal's away. He's got Semedo for company. Yamal's going to roll it across. Too short for Baena. Well cut out by Dalot. Again, another dangerous moment for Spain that's just caught short with a bit of sloppy play, really. He's needed to put more on it, Lamine Yamal there. He's undercooked it massively. There's a nice ball in behind, calling for offside here against Diogo Dalot. Lag stays down. It will be a Spanish throw nonetheless. Spain will trigger this substitution as one of their fans in the crowd holding up the World Cup trophy, hoping that in 13 days' time their captain will do the same. Well, it's Ferran Torres on for Alex Baena. What difference can Torres make? Good direct ball by Dalot. Leao evading the pressure and challenge of Porro. Leao still going. Ronaldo just stayed onside. Here's João Neves, bouncing, bobbling ball. Drops for Fernandes, whose effort hits the side netting. Dangerous chance for Bruno Fernandes. Not on target though. But a dangerous effort nonetheless for the Portuguese man. And the Man United player unable to find a way past Unai Simon. Cucurella. And more direct to find Ferran Torres, but that was well cut out by Ruben Dias. Semedo under pressure, works his way out of it with a little spin. And a loose giveaway there down the left from Leao. Yamal, Olmo, but forceful. Couldn't find a way through. That's where I think they've been sloppy, Spain. Since those early moments, they were zipping those balls, breaking the lines of Portugal so often early doors, but it's just kind of dissipated. They haven't been able to squeeze that ball through. It's so dangerous and so hard to defend, but Portugal have done really excellent just cutting that avenue out for Spain in this game. Spain just getting a little bit impatient with that play. Unable to have the joy of it so far. Pedri. Porro. Back to Pedri. Pedri will try and loft it in behind. Ferran Torres, narrow angle! His one hit the side netting from a really difficult angle for Ferran Torres. Goes for a goal kick. Yeah, it's the right idea again. Getting the defenders chasing back to their own goal. Weighted ball in behind just a little bit. Awkward. Again, too narrow, too straight, too wide of goal. Just hasn't got that edge on it in the final third from either team, really. But there are options to change that. Players on the field right now that can make the difference. Cucurella. Back to Laporte. Cross now to Kubasi. Little layoff. Rodri. Good turn there by Ferran Torres. Cucurella. Pedri. Rodri. Leaned into the path here of Oyarzabal. Finding Olmo. Little bit of space here for Spain. Olmo! Effort was stopped by Ruben Dias, who put his body on the line. Dangerous effort from Dani Olmo. Just broke away from Semedo on the inside and tried to direct it into that far corner with real pace. Well stopped by Ruben Dias on the slide. And behind for the corner. It's going to be Yamal to take it. Bain has been taking the corners, but he's off now, so it's Yamal. Left-footed, loops it into the area. Oh, a little awkward for Costa. He tried to catch it, but could only palm it away. Rodri, reversing it back around the corner. Costa will punch it away this time. Olmo, down the line to Yamal. Spain with a bit more energy now all of a sudden. Yamal. Lovely way to ball in behind. Ferran Torres cuts it across and it's directed behind for the corner by Diogo Dalot. Feeling a handball in there, says Ferran Torres. Let's see it again. Yeah, nothing in that. It's not handball for me. Yeah, it's actually Nelson Semedo at the back post that defends that situation. Goodness, how dangerous that was again from Spain. Great ball by Yamal. Good run by Torres. The cutback was perfect. Again, just no one there. To be jolly on the spot for Spain. Yamal to deliver again. Good spell this from the European champions. Yamal left-footed. Bounces down. Not a great defensive header. Rodri is going to be penalised for the ball coming off his hand as he tried to take control. So a free kick to Portugal. Looks like there's going to be more Portuguese changes. Bernardo Silva and Francisco Conceição. Look to be the two that are coming on very, very shortly. Into the last 10 minutes of normal time. Portugal need an added time winner to beat Croatia last time round. Will there be a late bit of drama in this one involving Portugal again? Ferran Torres looking for the little 1-2 return with Lamine Yamal, but that's given away a little cheaply there by Kubarsi. Here's Ronaldo. No options to find further forward on that occasion. Good turn by Diaz. Vitinha all the way back to Ruben Diaz. Now Renato Vega. Christopher says, looks like we might be heading for extra time. You kind of got that feeling about it right now. There's a moment of magic that can change that. Rafael Leao bursting away down the left. Leao with the ball across. Took a little touch off Porro and into the hands of Simon it comes. It just looks like the approach play from both teams is building to something positive. And then it just breaks down as they get into the final third, or the last pass or the last touch. Or that moment to lead to a goal just doesn't quite emerge in the final third. Torres. Pedri. Rodri. The other ball. Wide to Yamal. Up against Semedo. He's got a bit of rhythm now. Yamal. Or Yadabal breaking off the back of the... Renato Vega there to cut it apart. And Leao skipping away from Porro. Playing it down the left now. Fernandez couldn't draft his ball in behind. Well blocked by Kubarsi, who had to come across there. That's going to be a throw in down that side. As that will trigger the Portuguese subs. Bernardo Silva and Francisco Conceição coming on. And coming off is going to be number 18, Pedro Neto. So I'd say Conceição coming on for Neto. And the other change is going to see Bernardo Silva coming on, and he is going to replace Vitinha. So Vitinha and Neto off, replaced by Conceição and Bernardo Silva. Reminder for you of that double header tomorrow to round off the round of 16. Argentina, Egypt tomorrow from 5, followed by Switzerland, Colombia tomorrow at 9 o'clock, both here on LFS. Semedo. Throw in, little 1-2. Nelson Semedo will hoof it all the way back to his keeper. It's an awkward one for Diogo Costa, but I think they'll be given the free kick there. He was fouled there. Nelson Semedo. Penny says it's possible. Extra time, though anything can happen in 10 minutes. That's exactly true. Looks like Mikel Merino is going to be coming on here for Spain very shortly. Early cross there from the left. It's a little bit looped Sent by Fernandez. Looks like also going to be coming on here for Spain. Looks like Fabian Ruiz. So double midfield change coming for Spain here. Cucurella. Throw down the line to Ferran Torres, who evades two markers as well, but the poor touch from Oyarzabal lets it down there for Spain. Conceição beaten to it by Pedri, and that ball bounces out for a Portuguese throw down the line, and that will trigger the double substitution from Spain then. Moreno and Fabian Ruiz. Coming off is going to be Pedri for Fabian Ruiz. And we're also going to see the Dani Olmo coming off as well. So Olmo and Pedri off, and they've been replaced by Mikel Merino and of course coming on as well, of course, Fabian Ruiz. I forgot his name there completely, if you didn't realise. I know who it is, I know of him. Just completely his name escaped me there for a split second. Some fresh legs for both teams now to try and go on and charge to win this. But here's Lamine Yamal charging forward with seemingly fresh legs despite playing 85 minutes. Yamal clipping it out to the far left side. There's space here for Spain. Fabian Ruiz is going to launch one deep. Oh, narrow that. Too deep into the hands of Diogo Costa. Ball over the top there from Diogo Dalot. Not quite finding for this Francisco Conceição as Cucurella made the interception. Well, it's been Spain with a lot of the momentum of the game and little intermittent spells from Portugal, but so far Spain have looked the more likely. Haven't been able to find that cutting edge just yet. Is there a winning moment in this slate? Can someone make the difference for either team? They're filled with difference makers, filled with match winners. But who will come up with the goods? Or will we need 30 minutes or even the ultimate decider of penalties to separate these two? As I said, 12 months ago they couldn't be separated in a score draw in the Nations League final. Right now heading into the final couple of minutes here in Dallas in the round of 16 of the World Cup. It looks like it might be heading the same way. They cannot be separated. Rodri launching forward, hooked away by Nelson Semedo, picked up by the midfield of Spain here. Fabian Ruiz on to Mikel Merino. Can they drum anything up here in the final third? Ruiz, Rodri, Porro. Wide to Lamine Yamal. Again playing that reverse pass into the path of Torres, who makes the angle. Ferran Torres evading pressure. Maybe took a little too long to the side and then not the best ball. Good idea. Lamine Yamal and Ferran Torres just not quite on the same page there with that one. Just maybe a little hesitant there, Ferran Torres, in his decision making. Conceição. Or now, Dalot, sorry. Cuts it back to Conceição, a little behind him. That's cut apart by Spain again. It's a late challenge there by Bernardo Silva. A real crunching one to the Premier League midfielder, well, formerly Premier League midfielder, Bernardo Silva now. Knows Anthony Taylor very well. And Anthony Taylor knows him very well. And Bernardo Silva. Yeah, there's no attempt to win the ball there. It is a bit of a cynical foul by Bernardo Silva. Well, if there's any referee in the world that knows what Bernardo Silva's like, it will be Anthony Taylor. Very experienced Premier League referee who's certainly known the way around Bernardo Silva over the last number of years. Now we're just going to close that poll. Thank you very much, everybody, for getting involved, voting in the chat. The chat saying 62% saying that Portugal will win this, 38% saying Spain will win. Thank you all for getting involved in that. Great to have your involvement in the coverage. Greatly appreciated. Whether you want to have a chat or not in the chat, whether you just want to have your say through the poll, it is greatly appreciated, whatever you wish to do. But it's great that you're just joining us, spending your time with us. Don't forget to like the stream as well. Press that like button because it so massively helps us. It massively helps, and it will be so greatly appreciated. So thank you all for joining us. Last 30 seconds of 90 here in Dallas. 0-0. Here comes Lamine Yamal up against Nelson Semedo. This battle has trundled on since Nuno Mendes was forced off injured a little earlier. Yamal has certainly got more change out of Nelson Semedo than he did out of Nuno Mendes. Looked more dangerous. There's another foul there by Bernardo Silva, a little late. Free kick to Spain, as they take quickly. 6 added minutes, by the way, at the end of the 90. Oh, that's a lovely reverse ball. It's Marino! Beautiful football from Spain. Breaking through right on the verge of 90. And the European champions have the breakthrough here in Dallas. I said earlier on, who could grab this game by the scruff of the neck and lasso themselves into the last 8? Well, the European champions have been practicing, and they have finally hit the jackpot here in Texas. They're certainly choosing Texas, and my God, they chose the right option there. Beautifully taken free kick. Portugal just weren't set, and they played just nice tiki-taka football. Lovely pass. This is sensational ball by Ferran Torres in behind. It's absolutely perfect. Marino making the angled run off the back of the defence and just slots it bottom left corner, and Diogo Costa couldn't stop it. Portugal 0, Spain 1, and the bench erupts, the crowd erupts, and the European champions in front. And what could be Cristiano Ronaldo's final few minutes at the World Cup for Portugal of his career. And look at the difference. I said Spain have had the better chances. Spain have looked the more dangerous, but they weren't clinical. Well, Ferran Torres with the setup. And the finish by Mikel Merino, who's come up trumps so many times for his club in Arsenal over the last year or so. Well, it looks like they've pulled the trump card in the World Cup for Mikel Merino and Spain. And 6 added minutes, scored right on the start of that. 20 seconds into added time, Spain, so there's still a lot left. Nearly all of the 6 minutes still remaining. But can there be now an imminent response from Portugal? They need to, otherwise they're heading for home. And we already saw one legend of the game wave goodbye to his international career in Neymar Jr. yet last night. Will Cristiano Ronaldo be doing the same tonight? We are mere moments away from maybe knowing the fate of that one. The European champions, it's not been their most frivolous of results or frivolous of performances or most damaging to the opponent, like we saw against Austria where they tore them to pieces. But we talked about it, and I thought about it when it comes to France in this tournament. In terms of teams who want to win this, you have to win in different ways. You can't always dominate, you can't always have it all your own way. Sometimes you need to scrap, sometimes you need to hang in there, and sometimes you need that little moment of magic to make the separation. 16 years ago, in this exact fixture, at this exact round of a World Cup, David Villa wrote his name into history, to carry Spain to a quarter-final of a World Cup, en route to being crowned world champions a few weeks later. Is it going to be a repeat story? 16 years on, in an almost identical type game that might have its magical star in the Lone Star State. Francisco Conceição. Swung in early by Dalot. Response needed from Portugal. Dalot's ball will drop for Leao down around the back post, down the left-hand side. And he uses tricky footwork. Forces it back to Semedo, who's under pressure. Just evades that well, Nelson Semedo. It's all Portuguese pressure now to try and find a response, to find a leveller. Leao whips one in. Header down into the ground by Kubarsi and hooked away by Fabian Ruiz. It's now about hanging on for Spain. Hold it off. See it through. Get the job done. Conceição. Cuts back onto his left. Inside it goes. Fernandes. Square to Semedo. Back to Vega. Now across to Ruben Dias. Back to Renato Vega again. Clipping it to the left-hand side. And that one is wasteful. And not by any stretch the quality Portugal need at this stage of the game. Straight out of play for a throw. This is what the best do. This is what the champions do. The mentality of a team who doesn't know when they're going to be held off. They find a way in a must-win game. But it's not done and dusted just yet. We're edging towards that 6-minute mark, but remember we had a goal in this added time, so there will be more to add on to the end of that. Beautiful switch. Conceição. Cucurella in his way. Conceição with the left. Bounced across! And the header is just over the crossbar. Agonisingly over from Bernardo Silva, who's taken a real huff with his former Manchester City teammate Rodri. It seems to be not kind at all between the two. A grip ball in from Conceição. Bernardo Silva beat it. Rodri to it there. What a chance. What a ball by Conceição. What an attempt. Just over the crossbar. And that was maybe the chance for Portugal. It might have just stolen away from them. And Spain will make another late alteration here. Looks like Borja Iglesias is going to be coming on. He is, to replace Mikel Oyarzabal, so that will just be to see this out for Spain. Surely not much left. Surely we're in the dying embers. The last flickers of light for Portugal in this tournament. The light is dimming, ever darker. Unless someone can give them a late burst. And it will be really late. It's now or never really for Portugal. One more chance surely. The referee looking at his watch, telling them you need to hurry up because there's not much left. They're wasting their time. Bernardo Silva plays an awful pass and Lamine Yamal blocks it out for the throw. There is surely no more time. They need to get it forward. Launched out to the right. Conceição takes the touch inside. Sliding tackles flying in. And that challenge from Ferran Torres on Conceição will give Portugal a free kick and a yellow card for Ferran Torres. Yeah, really nicely worked from Francisco Conceição. And a bit naive that from Ferran Torres. A little bit rash from the Barca man. And that's going to be one last set piece for Portugal. And they might call Diogo Costa up here. Their World Cup chances are on the line here. Hanging by a thread. It's got to happen now. Conceição and Fernandes over it. It's Bruno Fernandes looping it into the area. Flicked on! And maybe he took it off the toes of Ronaldo João Neves. But there's the final whistle. The European champions will move on to the quarter-finals. One step closer to doing it all over again. 16 years on. And a decade and a half later, it's like rolling back the clock. Rolling back the years when David Villa did it for Spain in 2010 to beat Portugal in the last 16. It's Mikel Merino in 2026 to do it for Spain against Portugal in the last 16. Well, Dallas is where Portugal will bow out, but Dallas to LA is the route and path for Spain to the quarter-finals. Luis de la Fuente's side showed a grit and determination that maybe we hadn't expected for Spain coming into this one. We thought it was going to be an absolute goal fest, an end-to-end, unstoppable battle of two attacking talents. But in the end, it turned out to be a real chess match of the ages between two top countries. And it is no surprise the team with a winning mentality, the team that have been there and done it, are doing it again. La Roja are on the way to the quarter-finals, the last 8. Portugal are on their way back to the Iberian Peninsula, knowing another chance missed, another opportunity has escaped them. Maybe the last chance saloon for Cristiano Ronaldo has fallen by the wayside in an added-time goal from Mikel Merino. Final score here in Dallas, Texas. It is finished. Portugal 0, Spain 1. And there you have it. So far, all 5 teams that are designated as away teams in the round of 16 have progressed. Morocco beating Canada 3-0. A 1-0 win in a gritty game between France and Paraguay for Les Bleus. Norway knocking out Brazil via an Erling Haaland brace. It was a brace for Bellingham and a Harry Kane penalty that carried England to 3 goals over Mexico to progress. And the European champions rolling on to the last 8 and into the quarter-finals. Once again, for the first time, they got to this point since they were world champions 16 years ago. That was the last time they were in a World Cup quarter-final, Spain. Could that be a magically good omen for them? Magical. And 3 more games to come. USA, Belgium in the middle of the night. And then a double header for you tomorrow to conclude the round of 16. Argentina, the world champions, defending world champions, take on Egypt tomorrow in the round of 16. That's a 5 o'clock kickoff from Atlanta. That's followed by Switzerland taking on Colombia tomorrow at 9 o'clock. But it is Spain who progress. The European champions move on to the last 8. And as I said earlier, who could take this game by the scruff of the neck? It was a lone star in Mikel Merino, who is the man to lasso Spain into the next round. And the lone star in the Lone Star States, the European champions, are into the quarterfinals. Bye-bye.